Laura Huff is suing her estranged son-in-law, Paul Veloff, for posting his bail after he was arrested for domestic violence.
All rise. That's case number 342 on the calendar in the matter of Huff versus Veloff.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Huff, the defendant is your soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. I assume this is your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that he owes you money for bail.
Yes, ma'am.
And that he agreed to pay you back once you had bailed him out, and he has declined to do so. Mr. Veloff says you made no agreement with him with regard to the bail money. You made an agreement with his wife. So if you want the bail money paid, get it from your daughter. That's your defense?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Veloff, how long have you been married?
13 years, 14 years?
13 or 14 years?
13.
You have children?
Yes, 2.
How many?
2.
When were you arrested, sir?
It was filed on July 4th, but I actually turned myself in on that Sunday, which would have been, I think, the 6th, 7th? Of July, I'm sorry.
7/7 of 06?
Yes.
Is this the first time you had been arrested, sir?
Yes.
And this was for domestic violence?
Yes.
And the domestic violence alleged that you either assaulted or threatened or harassed your wife?
Right.
Were you in or out of the house on the 7th of July?
In the house.
No. Okay. Mrs. Veloff, when did you complain about your husband's conduct to the police?
The incident of 4th of July.
Tell me about the incident.
We have been having marital problems for quite a while, and a recurring situation came up again that he was not working and taking care of his responsibilities. It escalated into a yelling argument that turned physical. Shortly after, well, the argument went on for quite a while. He was restraining me. I was not allowed. I was undressed coming out of the shower. He wouldn't allow me to get dressed. He wouldn't allow me to leave the master bedroom. Finally, when I did get out of the bedroom, I made it down to the lowest floor of the house, got a phone, and dialed 911. While I was on the phone with the dispatcher, he left the property. While he was gone, they dispatched 2 sheriff's vehicles to the house. They took my statement, took photos.
Copy of the statement, please. Do you have a copy of that police report?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. They took photographs of what?
They took photographs of the marks on my body and the damage to the home.
What kind of marks did you have on your body?
My arms were bruised where he had grabbed me and forcibly threw me on the bed. My neck was irritated and red.
Your Honor, I do have a copy of the charges.
I'd like to see them. Where were your children when all this was going on?
There was a 4th of July community picnic that my daughter was at, and my son was outside playing basketball with a friend of his. I believe, well, he was in the driveway. I think they were playing basketball.
How old are your children?
14 and 12.
What's the status of this protective order?
The restraining order?
Yeah, what's the status of the case?
The case was dismissed.
When was the case dismissed?
It went to trial while my mother and I were in Italy for 2 weeks. It was dismissed because I did not show to testify.
Why didn't you appear to testify?
I was in Italy.
Why did you go to Italy during the trial?
It was already pre-planned, the trip. All of the subpoenas for me to appear were in my mail when I got back.
Your Honor, this was a 2-week Mediterranean cruise. We had planned 7 months prior to take all the kids and grandkids, everybody.
Got it. But, Ms. Veloff, after he was arrested, because he turned himself in, according to your mother's complaint, he called you and asked you to bail him out, right?
Yes.
How much was your bail?
$2,000.
And why did you think your wife would bail you out when she was the one who filed the complaint?
Well, I called her because it started getting really rough in the jail, and I've never experienced anything like that. And I called her.
How rough was it?
They found knives, shanks.
So you wanted out of there?
Yeah, and it was Wednesday night. The other inmates were starting to get their commissary or whatever they buy for the week, and a lot of it was like cold medicine, and they were chopping it up and snorting it, and I could see attitudes change, and it started getting really scary.
So you were frightened?
Yes.
So you called your wife?
Yes, I did.
And what did you say to her?
I asked her to call my dad to see if he would bail me out.
Why didn't you call your dad?
Why didn't I call my dad?
That's exactly what I said. Why didn't you call your dad? Why are you calling the alleged victim instead of calling your father directly? Don't you speak to him?
Yes, I do.
So then why didn't you call your father yourself?
The phone calls I was able to make were very limited.
Well, I understand they're very limited. I've been in the justice system a very long time. There's no reason that you're going to be able to give me that I'm going to be satisfied with, sir, as to why you didn't call your father yourself.
I don't know.
Ma'am?
Maybe your wife is going to tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call his father?
First of all, he called the house and spoke to our son, who then called me. So by the time I got the phone call, our son was frantic with worry, thinking that his father was in mortal jeopardy.
Okay.
And then I did go and call his father, and his father said no.
That's why he didn't call him.
No, that's not true. He
Otherwise,
said no,
sir,
he said
otherwise, sir, you know, if something doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. How old is your son?
14.
Before I would involve my 14-year-old son in the fact that I was incarcerated and I was frightened for my life, I would call my father. If I had a decent relationship with my father and if I felt that my father would want to protect me, I certainly wouldn't involve my teenage child. That's not being a protective parent.
I did not know he was going to answer the phone.
What kind
He proceeded to...
Just a second. What kind of dumb answer is that?
I mean,
What kind of a dumb answer? So because he answered the phone, you unloaded on him?
I didn't unload.
Well, of course you did. Okay. So now you're between a rock and a hard place. You got your 14-year-old child saying you got to do something to get Dad out of jail. You got his father who says, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not putting up any money for him. You don't have any money, so you call your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you say, you got to help me out here. You got to help me out. And she goes down and she puts up the bond. That's so far what happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you got out of jail, Mr. Veloff, who was there?
Who was there? My kids, my wife, and my mother-in-law.
And what did you say to your mother-in-law?
Thank you.
What else did you say to her? What else did he say?
He was in tears, and he hugged me, and he thanked me, and I told him two things. One, he had to get his act together, and two, because he didn't have a job, he had to pay me back, and he owned 2 cars, which he'd already told Tracy he would do. I expected him to sell one of the 2 cars.
To pay you back?
To pay me back for my credit card.
Just
I'm sorry.
And did he pay you back?
No, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If she didn't have grandchildren, that's probably what she would have said to her daughter. Let him stay there, because as far as she was concerned, you could have rotted in hell.
And later today,
Doesn't like the camera.
Probably not. Felix.
Feisty little thing.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dora Huff claims a strange son-in-law, Paul Viloff, owes for bail money she posted on his behalf.
Why should your mother-in-law pay your bail?
I didn't ask her to.
No, you didn't ask her to. That's absolutely right, Mr. Veloff. You did not ask her to. But you promised to pay her back. But you promised to pay her back. You didn't ask her to, and absolutely, if you hadn't said to her, I'm going to pay you back, that unfortunately for Miss Huff, there would have been no recourse. The truth of the matter is, at the time that she put up the bail for her daughter and her grandchildren. Because as far as she was concerned, you could have rotted in hell. I'm sure. I'm sure. If she didn't have grandchildren, that's probably what she would have said to her daughter. Let him stay there. But she has grandchildren, and you can't do that when you have teenage grandchildren. You can't say, listen, you're going to let your father rot in jail, so he's going to call here and he's going to complain that somebody's going to shank him. Mr. Veloff, as you see, sir, I have zero sympathy for your position morally, and I have zero sympathy for your position legally. If you had not told your mother-in-law that you would pay her back.
I promised to get my act together and get a job.
Just a second. Just a second. Did you get your act together?
Yes.
Did you get a job?
Yes.
Good. Now you have money to pay it back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,020. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We went to marriage counseling, and everything was going wonderful.
It's over.
Don't know what happened after that.
The marriage is over.
Part, go our own ways, and, hopefully, no hard feelings.
I will never be hit again.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of DeCarlos versus Yaffe, step forward, please.
23-year-old Anthony DeCarlos is suing vet technician Sharon Yaffe for failing to return his miniature pinscher, Phoenix.
Mr. DeCarlos, you are suing Miss Jaffe because you claim that because of her actions, your pet was neutered.
Yes, ma'am.
Without your permission. And she caused you a great deal of stress when she refused to divulge the name of the people who she had given the dog to when your dog turned up astray and missing. What I gather from your complaint is you were not at home. The puppy was at home with friends of yours or roommates.
Roommates.
And they negligently allowed the puppy to escape the house.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
old was the puppy at the time?
8 months.
And how many people were supposed to be watching him?
Just one of my roommates was at home at the time.
And how did he let the dog out?
He was going to India for a trip, and he was putting up a mailbox. We have 2 doors, and my dog got out because he left the top door open and the bottom door, and he got out while he was doing that.
So he was negligent?
Yes.
On what date did he run away from your house?
On the 25th of June.
And how long had you had the puppy at the time?
I'd had him for probably like 4 months.
Where did you get him from?
A breeder.
And how much did you pay for him?
Like $300.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Mr. DeCarlos?
Sorry. Yes.
Paid $300. Did you get papers for him?
Yes, ma'am. I
I'd
have
like to
papers.
see them. He's a miniature pincher.
Yes.
I had one of those when I was a child. Okay, so June 25th, the puppy escapes. What did you do to find him?
Well, when I found out, I was at the library when this happened. I came home and found that my dog was gone. And so I was like, oh my God, what happened? So I went, like, immediately put up flyers to find my dog around my block and everything like that. And my roommate did help me, you know, so he did feel bad, but I can't blame him, you know. So we
Listen, look, stop talking so fast. Oh. Doesn't like the camera.
Probably not.
That's okay.
Phoenix.
Feisty little thing. Anyway, so you put up flyers. What else did you do?
I would put up flyers.
What else did you do?
I called.
Who did you call?
Someone that found my dog responded to the flyers, and they contacted me and let me know where they had taken my dog to.
Okay, so you yourself did not call the animal rescue, animal control.
Oh, I called. I visited numerous animal shelters around where I live.
Okay.
And I called, like, the animal patrol, like, where I live, because I would figure, like, he'd be around in my area. But that wasn't the case at all.
So somebody saw the flyer with the dog's picture and called you.
Yes, ma'am.
On what date was that?
I'm not sure of the day exactly.
Well, it becomes important in this scenario.
Okay. It was probably like 2 to 3 weeks later, after the 25th.
3 weeks later?
Yes.
So we're now mid-July.
Yes.
Okay. And the person who called you, just for the purpose of this, said that your dog was injured?
Right. They had told me that he had been clipped by a car, and he was fine. Like, by the time they took him to the animal hospital, like, he was walking and he was fine. And they told me that they had admitted him and they gave him to a nurse, and she took him home. And then they gave me the number of the place, so I called, and she definitely agreed. She said I took him home and I cared for him or whatever. And then she gave him to Sharon Yaffe.
Okay.
So,
He's really not happy. Why don't you take him out, okay?
No, sir. Okay.
Got a heart of a lion, that little guy. So the person at the animal shelter, they took care of your pet who had been injured.
yes, ma'am.
And somebody was wonderful enough to take him home, nurse him back to health, and then turned him over to the defendant.
Yes.
Miss Yaffe, you work for the shelter?
I work for a shelter.
And who was it that gave you the puppy?
A co-worker of mine who was working at the animal hospital when the animal was delivered.
On what date did you take custody of him?
July 3rd, which would have been a Monday morning.
Okay, go ahead.
The prior weekend, the co-worker at my weekend job, which is an emergency animal hospital, advised she had been recuperating a dog at home for 10 to 14 days, wanted to know if I would be able to find it a home. And I told her, if it's something small with a nice disposition, nothing that bites, I can always find something small a home. I did have a friend of mine who has a geriatric miniature pinscher, and that would have been my first outlet for the dog. I picked the dog up that morning from the animal hospital, which would have been Monday morning. The animal had already been neutered.
The animal had been neutered at the animal hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
So before you took custody of the animal, it was neutered?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I picked the dog up. I called my friend and let him know what I had. He contacted his wife. He has a daughter at home who's like 10 years old. And they said they would try the dog out. So the gentleman came and picked the animal up from me that same day.
Okay. When did Mr. DeCarlos contact you?
Friday, which would have been July 7th, I believe.
And he described the dog?
Yes.
And when did he get the dog back?
I'm not sure of the exact day.
When did you get the dog back, sir?
I'm not sure of the exact day either.
It was in July.
Yeah, I had to get a lawyer to actually get my dog back from her. I even offered, when I spoke with her, I was like, I will pay, these people, I'll buy them a new dog. I just want my dog back. That's all that I really cared about. And she was like, no, I'm not gonna, I don't want to make these people unhappy and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, it's my dog. I came forward. It's my dog. And on top of everything, Your Honor, she lied. She was lying to me about everything.
I never lied.
Your Honor, she told me that the dog was in the facility when it was not. And I have documentation from her job right here that says that they did an investigation on her and they found her guilty of everything.
Well, let me see what you have. Ms. Yaffe, you did not make the dog available to the plaintiff when he called you. You want to tell me why?
The animal had been in the home already.
4 days.
4 days.
4 days.
And I was really apprehensive about contacting the people and letting them know that an owner had come forward for the animal. They've got a 10-year-old daughter. I knew the dog was in a good home, a good, responsible home.
Okay. You made a misjudgment.
In hindsight, yes.
You made a misjudgment. Okay. I see Mr. Takala said what it says is that they conducted an investigation to determine whether or not Ms. Yaffe's actions were within departmental guidelines of the animal control. And it says that the actions of the employees were not within our best policy nor our best practice of the police department and animal control facility, and your complaint has been sustained. Okay. So you should have gotten your dog back.
Yes.
So?
I did get my dog back. Well, the reason why I'm suing is because my dog was neutered.
That's not her problem. That's your roommate's problem. That's not her problem. Nobody did anything to intentionally inflict injury on your puppy. Nobody. What happens is when an animal, I assume that something must have happened to the puppy's tags and or chip, which you should have had on the puppy so that the puppy could have been easily identifiable.
Yes, ma'am.
And that wasn't there. Am I right, Mr. DeCarlos?
Yes, ma'am, you're right.
Okay. So if you had had a chip inserted in the puppy, which everybody recommends now,
yes,
or you had a collar with your telephone number and way to contact you, we wouldn't be here today. So that's your fault. It's not her fault that your dog was neutered. She didn't neuter the dog.
Right, but she knew it was taking place, like she knew about it.
So what? Not every grievance, Mr. DeCarlos, is a lawsuit. Now, I agree with you that the defendant, and she acknowledges in hindsight, she should have turned the dog back over to you. It was a mistake on her part. She can't say, well, they've come attached to the dog in 4 days and I don't feel comfortable about calling, you know, and say you have to return the dog to its rightful owner. But she's not responsible for the fact that your dog was neutered.
So should I, like, sue, like, the animal hospital that they have no documentation, or?
Absolutely not. You shouldn't sue anybody. You should take your dog home and teach him not to growl. You know, you got your dog back in one piece, and the fact that he's neutered, what difference does it make?
Well, I was planning on breeding him.
Plan something else. Your own negligence in failing to have proper identification on the dog caused the dog to go into a shelter without any known information. That's your negligence, so go sue yourself. Your case against the defendant is dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Like, he's fine, and I'm glad that they did that, and I don't have any hard feelings. I just really wanted to get my dog back.
Glad to see the little dog is wearing identification.
And I thought she was at fault.
24-year-old Heidi Huntley is suing her ex-boyfriend, 26-year-old Eric Huntley, for his share of credit card debt and for damage he caused to her car.
All rise. Now it's case number 333 on the calendar in the matter of Huntley versus Huntley.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Huntley, the defendant is your former boyfriend. You've been together for quite some time, I assume, and you have one child together.
Yes.
Your complaint is that when you broke up, Mr. Huntley agreed that he would take over half of the credit card debt. He made a couple of payments and then stopped. You also claimed that he used a car that belonged to you and caused some damage to the car and vandalism to the car. You wanted to take care of that. Mr. Huntley said he walked out of the house, leaving you in the house with your child. How old is your child?
My son is 7.5.
And he left with his clothes, and that's it. Everything that was purchased on that credit card remained in the house, and he doesn't see why in the world he should pay for it.
Yes.
And with regard to the car, his defense is that any vandalism that was done to the car was paid out by your insurance from an act of vandalism that had nothing to do with him, and you chose not to have the car fixed, but to pocket the insurance money, and therefore he's not paying for it because you already got paid for it, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Good. You lived together from when to when?
February of 2003 until October 8th of 2006.
When and why did you leave, Mr. Huntley?
The relationship just didn't work out. It was an agreed upon thing. It wasn't like I just stormed out. I mean, both of
Okay,
us
so you
were
agree. So it
unhappy.
was a civilized, orderly
Yes.
arrangement.
We were both unhappy.
What arrangement did you make, Mr. Huntley, with regard to the debt?
I had been paying pretty much all of the, I mean, I had a full-time job and I was going to school, making financial aid and some scholarships, and that was all going to bills while she was only going to school. for about 4 years. When I left, I was still paying the credit card bills, but it didn't take a long time to figure out that what was going on was it was an attempt to make sure I didn't have enough money to survive, and I couldn't. Right now, she's living in a 2-bedroom house with hardwood floors, with 2 cars in the driveway. She's got a college degree. I think she's had a job for a little while. I'm sleeping on my dad's couch.
The credit card bills were how much?
We have $38,000 in credit card debt over the course of our 3-year relationship. He'd been paying half the payment on all of the 5 cards, and I had also been paying half a payment on a card that is only in his name, on not my name at all. Our credit cards have both of our names. We're both joint signers on these cards. We just made the arrangement that, you know, hey, you would pay half and I would pay half the minimum payment, and that went on until September. And in September, he told me, I need to save for my own place. I have a new girlfriend, or October, I have a new girlfriend. I just bought a new truck after I lost $1,500 selling our truck that was in joint of our names. And I don't have the money to pay it, so you're just going to have to deal with it yourself. It's not my problem.
Well, you have to deal with it, and he has to deal with it, because if they're joint credit cards, they're going to come after both of you.
Absolutely.
So, what are you doing in court? Here.
He won't pay the credit card.
They're going to come after him. They'll attach your salary, they'll attach his salary.
Well, Your Honor, I have a credit score of 760. His credit score is now 720, but when we met, it was in the 500s, and mine was in the 700s. And
Miss Huntley, how many years since 2003 were you employed?
None of those years was I legally employed.
Well, you're not going to stand here in court and tell me you were illegally employed.
I went to school, and I had scholarship funds. I had 8 different scholarships, of which I got about $2,800 a month take-home cash.
That you don't have to pay back?
I do have loans. I have student loans.
Of
but
course you do.
some of that I do not have to pay back.
The answer is you did not work. He worked. He provided for the household while you were living together. You have to remember, folks, you're not married. We don't have courts in this country for almost marrieds living together, trying it out. We don't have courts for that. If this was a marital situation, I would have no problem. I would say, listen, you have credit card debt, you're responsible for half, and you're responsible for half. That's it. Goodbye and good luck. But that's not the case. The truth of the matter is that if you have $38,000 worth of credit card debt from 2003 in February until 2006 in October, he paid the credit cards.
No, he didn't. He was unemployed for 6 months of that time straight.
Well, you were unemployed for 4 years. Somebody had to pay for these cars.
But I wasn't unemployed. I brought home $2,800 a month every month, except for July and August.
What did you do with it?
I paid as many bills as he did: car payments, credit card payments, food, clothing.
I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's very, very interesting, Miss Huntley. I have no idea how you did that, because I educated a whole bunch of kids, and nobody ever gave them $2,800 a month in cash in addition to what they were getting. So you got some kind of gig going here that probably the rest of the civilized world would like to know about.
I have a 3.8 GPA, and I'm an engineering student, and I volunteer 170 hours a year.
Fabulous. What do you want me to do? You want me to say to him, what you should do is pay half the bills?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll say to him, what you do should be half the bills. Be nice if you paid half the bills. That's a moral judgment. These bills are in both of your names, and eventually the credit card companies who have advanced to you foolishly $38,000 in credit card expenses are going to come after both of you for the return of this money.
Your Honor, I'm making the payments because I understand how important credit is. I would like to go on with my life. I'm making the payments regardless of whether he is.
Don't you, Mr. Huntley?
I do, but I only have so much money, and you know, it's getting to the point where I have to choose.
Are you paying child support?
Yes.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, he has not paid child support, and he has not made a payment on any credit cards since August.
Requested to make child support payments 2 weeks ago by the state.
Mr. Huntley, requested by whom?
The state.
The state, because he wouldn't pay it.
I was never asked to pay it.
Just a second.
I've been paying all these other bills.
Listen, you may be angry. You may be angry. I don't know what you're angry about. I don't know. The truth of the matter is I really don't know what you're angry about. I was going to jump down his throat when he said I was never asked to pay it, because that's not an answer. When you have a child, you're supposed to pay child support. You don't have to be asked by anybody to pay child support. Child has to eat. Both parents are responsible for that. How much are you paying in child support?
$200 a month right now.
$200 a month is not a lot of money, Mr. Huntley.
No, it's not. At the time when I was requested to make child support payments, you know, my paychecks are $800 or $900, and she asked for $600 or $700 every 2 weeks for bills.
Well, you can't do that and pay child support.
I can't do that and
I
pay
haven't
child
asked
support.
for child support until he stopped paying on the bills.
Oh, well, but just a second. But then you did.
I only want what's fair. I only want half of our debt.
Miss Huntley, what you have to do, my dear, if you want half the debt, is you have to get married. That's what happens. That's what happens. Otherwise, you're coming into court, and there is no jurisdiction that I know of for almost marrieds. He can't pay half the credit card bills and the child support order that should be a lot more than $200 a month, quite frankly, Mr.
And it will be. I
Huntley.
put an appeal to have it raised to $640 is what he's going to end up paying, which is just enough to cover the minimum payments on the credit cards.
Well, then you shouldn't have made such extensive credit card purchases. What do you want from me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You chose to live without benefit of marriage. I don't know why. Maybe it had to do with your scholarships. I'm not sure. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to figure it out.
And later today,
If I believe what you're telling me, which I don't, your mother stole the money that you were giving her, and therefore they repossessed your car, and you wanted to get it back.
That's the truth.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 24-year-old Heidi Huntley claims ex-boyfriend Eric Huntley owes for half of their credit card debt.
Now, you chose, the two of you chose not to get married. You chose for whatever economic reason to live without benefit of marriage. I don't know why. Maybe it had to do with your scholarships. Maybe it had to do with something else. I'm not sure. Quite frankly, I don't have the time to figure it out. But if you chose to do that, you can't come to court and say, listen, now you have to go through our assets and liabilities. If I were to go through your assets, if I were to go into your home, Miss Huntley, and look at what you have in your home, would anything in your home be the product of the purchases that were made on these credit cards?
Some things.
And did Mr. Huntley take any things out of the home when he left other than his clothes and personal effects?
No, but some of those things were also on these credit cards.
No, just a second. I don't care. I'm talking about his clothes and personal effects. I'm not talking about beds and refrigerators or washer dryers or anything else that it goes to set up a household.
No, I tipped him out and he took nothing.
Right. Well, then you pay the bill. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She wants to make sure that I can't live a successful life without her. I mean, it's either come back to her or be miserable.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Serrano versus Lugo. Step forward.
23-year-old Patricia Serrano is suing her former friend, Elda Lugo, for a $3,500 loan plus interest. Elda claims Patricia gave her the money from a large settlement.
Ms. Serrano, according to your complaint, the defendant is a friend of yours from high school. She ran into some financial difficulty some time ago and approached you about lending her some money.
Yes, Judge.
You were a good friend. You lent her the money, $3,500. She didn't pay you back. You want your money back.
Yes.
Ms. Lugo says that you were a good friend to her. You gave her $3,500. You would come into some money. There was never any discussion of payback. As far as she was concerned, it was a gift.
That's true. Differ.
When did you graduate from high school, Ms. Lugo?
In June of 2001.
And between June of 2001 and the date of this loan or gift, which was on what date?
Last year, around August or July.
How often did you see each other?
After high school, we didn't see each other because we stopped being friends. And after she had a really bad car accident, her mom came and I started being her friend again. That's when we started.
What year?
I honestly do not recall what year she had a car accident.
What year?
It was in 2002, Your Honor.
Now, tell me about the day you approached Miss Serrano with your money troubles.
I did not approach her. I was just telling her my problems that I had with my family.
Shh, I don't. Listen, if you interrupt again, I'm going to dismiss your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just told her I was having really hard times with my parents. I was having a lot of financial problems.
What kind of financial problems were you having, Miss Lugo?
My mom stopped making the payments, so they took my car from me.
How old are you?
23.
Why was your mother making your car payments for you?
Because we're both on the loan, and I was giving her the money, and she was making the payments out of her account.
Who were you working for at the time?
Bay Cities National Bank.
So why weren't you paying the money directly?
Because that was just an arrangement that I had with my mom.
And are you saying that your mother stole your money?
I'm not saying she stole the money. I'm just saying that she wasn't making the payments, and they took the car from me.
So you're saying that if you gave your mother the money and your mother wasn't making the car payments,
she was using it for something else.
That she stole your money?
I guess.
And you told Ms. Serrano that your mother stole your money and they repossessed your car?
I told Patricia the problems that I was having with my parents and why they took my car from me.
Miss Lugo, I don't hear that that's a problem that you're having with your parents. If I believe what you're telling me, which I don't, you're telling me that your mother stole the money that you were giving her for your car loan and using it for her own purposes, and therefore they repossessed your car and you wanted to get it back.
Right.
Now, is that what you want me to believe?
That's the truth. That's exactly how everything's always been.
When did you move out of your mother's house?
Early September.
So you stayed in your mother's house another year after she stole your money?
Actually,
See where I'm going? So you had more financial difficulties than just this alleged theft by your mother of your money?
I couldn't just leave my house and just leave everything, like all my parents and my sisters behind.
Well, if I were living with somebody that stole my money and as a result of that my car was repossessed, I certainly wouldn't live there.
In June, I actually drove to Vegas, and I was going to move over there with my cousin.
That's June 2006. We're still talking about 10 months that you were living with your mother, the thief, if I believe you, which I
Right,
don't.
I really didn't have a choice. I mean, I am a
Okay, you're
I'm a
23 years old.
student.
You always have a choice. Okay, now I'm going to get to you, Miss Serrano. Now that I'm getting the personalities in order.
Yes.
Tell me what happened when she approached you in August of 2005 about this money.
Well, she told me the story that her car had gotten repossessed.
Did she tell you how it got repossessed?
Well, she didn't give me a straight answer. I never really did get straight answers from her.
That's a lie.
Don't interrupt. Go ahead.
You know, she came to me, she said, Patty, I haven't been able to make the payments. My mom and my dad aren't helping me out. I just don't have anywhere else to go to for money.
That's not true.
And I said, well, if you need help, feel free to come to me. She said, well, thank you so much. And a couple of days later, she came to me. She said, Patty, I need to take you up on your offer. Can you lend me $3,500? And I said, sure thing, I'll write you a check. And I'm not too sure if it was a day or two later that she said, it's too much trouble to go about, you know, with the check. I can't cash it. She even told me that her mom had found the check and was questioning her about the check.
That's not true.
Why, you know, why I was giving her a check for $3,500. And she said, well, I'll give you back the check, and can you please give me $3,500 in cash? I said, wow, you know, I'm like, okay, let me see what I can work out. And I went to the bank, withdrew $3,500 cash.
Let me see from your bank.
Yeah, it's right here. It's highlighted in yellow.
Where did you get all this money from?
I was involved in a very serious car accident in 2002, and I got a small settlement out of it.
Large settlement.
Oh, that's interesting, Miss Lugo. Did you say a large settlement? How large?
I don't know.
When you said it was a large settlement, you must know something about the settlement.
That's all she would always say. She got a large settlement. Never wanted to ask
I never
how much.
told you anything.
Shh. When did she tell you about this large settlement?
After she was recovering from her injuries.
When did you get the settlement?
Sometime in 2004.
Still have any of the money left?
Yes, I do. Some in investments.
Good. So you gave her $3,500 in cash?
Yes.
And what was the arrangement about paying you back?
She said, okay, Patty, you know I wouldn't have done this if I really didn't need it. Believe me, I'm going to have this money to you tops the end of the year when I get my bonus from the bank.
That's not true.
So I said, okay, you know what?
What part of keep quiet don't you understand?
End of the year came, I didn't see the money. She said, well, you know, I just need a couple of more months, whatever. And I said, okay, you know, just don't forget about it. You know, I'm being your friend here.
When for the first time, Miss Lugo, did the plaintiff ask for this money back?
Early September.
That's a lie.
So, what part don't you understand?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Tell me about the conversation when she asked you for the money back.
She started calling me at work, and she started emailing me at work.
What would she say when she called?
She was just calling me, telling me that she needed to meet me somewhere.
When did she, for the first time, ask you for the money back? Answer my question.
I believe her first email was September 7th.
That's not true.
Shh. Next time you're gone. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I assume you want me to consider giving you your money back.
Yes, please.
Then don't do it again. September 6th, and what did she say in the email? Do you have a copy of that email?
No, I don't.
Do you have a copy of the email?
Yes.
I want to see the email from September 6th.
She emailed me a promissory note that she wanted me to sign, that saying that I owed her the money, and because.
Shh. Well, you emailed her and you said to her that you planned on giving her the money.
Yeah, she was calling me at work nonstop, and she was just harassing me.
No, this has nothing to do with a response to harassment.
That's only the email that she gave you, but she didn't tell you about the phone calls that she was making to work.
I just want to see the emails. This is Wednesday, September 6th, and it's a lovely email. Absolutely lovely. You're happy for her. You're happy that she's happy. Hey, I'm not sure what's gone wrong between us again, but I really appreciate everything you have done for me and the times you've been there for me. I guess we are once again going our own separate roads. If it's the money thing, it's stopping you, don't worry, I will give it to you. Do me a favor, please do not email me at the bank. I get in trouble for receiving personal emails.
My manager talked to me, and she was telling me that I was receiving too many personal emails. She emailed me.
Listen to me. She wants her money back.
Yeah, after she was trying to get with my boyfriend, she was trying to hook up with my boyfriend,
That is a lie.
I confronted her about it. Until then is when she came back and wanted me to sign a promissory note and said that the gift that she gave me for $3,500 was then the loan.
I don't see why somebody who doesn't look like they're rolling in dough would give you $3,500 and not expect to be repaid at some point. Not necessarily in a week, not necessarily in a month or 6 months or even a year. But someday, within a reasonable period of time, when you got your act together, if you ever get your act together, she expected her money back. And to stand there at this point and say, well, she tried to get over on my boyfriend, and that wasn't right, and therefore I'm not paying her a dime, that's the wrong thing to do. It's not the moral thing to do. You want to end a relationship with her? Terrific. Do it. You're not friends anymore? You don't want to be friends anymore? Fine. But she was there for you when you needed her, and you're supposed to do the moral right thing and pay her her money. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,500. That's all.
Oh, you got excused. Step out.
She was calling my boyfriend nonstop, and she was asking him to go out for lunch with her.
That's a total lie. Why would I want her boyfriend?
She's been sleeping around. She's been having a long-lasting affair with a married man.
You know, it's just lies, lies, lies.
She's jealous. She's always been jealous of me ever since high school.
I definitely know not to mix business with...
Justin Munson is suing the mother of his daughter, Tasha Schnipka-White, for the return of his belongings and an unpaid electric bill.
Order. All rise. That's case number 272 on the calendar in the matter of Munson versus Schnipka-White. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Munson, you and the defendant lived together on and off for about 3 years, according to the complaint that I read.
Yeah.
You have one child together, and the defendant has one from another relationship. It is your complaint that when this miserable relationship finally terminated, the defendant cleaned out the apartment of property that belonged to you. You want your property back. It is suggested in the complaint that you have a domestic violence problem, which means a short fuse and or an assaultive personality, and that the defendant has an alcohol problem. And these two children, unfortunately, have to suffer through all of that. The defendant says she took only the property that was hers, and she is counterclaiming for the assault that she alleges was perpetrated by you, which caused this final separation. Is that correct?
Correct.
You lived on and off for 3 years. How old is the child that you have together?
1.
And how old is your other child?
My son is 10.
And there was a time when both of these children were removed from your custody by Child Protective Services.
No.
Just 1.
Just 1. Actually, my ex-husband and I have joint custody. I had physical care of my oldest son up until 2005, and then physical care went over to my ex-husband, and it went from him having weekends to me having weekends, Your Honor.
That was through Child Protective Services?
No, not on my son, just on Emma, Your Honor.
Just on our daughter.
So Child Protective Services did not remove the older child and place the older child in foster care, but they removed the younger child. How old was Emma when she was removed?
She was 5 weeks old, but it wasn't my relative. I'm sorry, 5 weeks old, Your Honor.
Why was she removed?
The defendant had put bruises. I have pictures of what he did to her and what he did to me at the time, and this is why she was removed.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. And he was actually founded for the abuse on her face and pleaded out to the abuse on me.
Judge, there is another thing that is being removed for that, for being both of us being founded for that bruise on her, and it's still in our appeal.
Who's responsible for the bruises on the defendant?
That's me.
That would be you?
I pleaded guilty, yep.
How many times did you plead guilty to assault?
Just once.
He was arrested several times, sorry.
Prior to your relationship with the defendant, were you involved in another relationship?
Yes.
Were you ever arrested with regard to that relationship for domestic violence?
We both were, yes.
Didn't ask about both. I said you.
Yes, I did.
What are you smiling about?
Because it's not nice for me what I did. I regret it.
Well, then why are you smiling? That's an inappropriate affect. You know what they say about inappropriate affect? They usually say that you're crazy when you have inappropriate affect. Is your grandmother still alive?
1, yes.
Okay, if somebody said to you that your grandmother died, would you smile?
Probably not.
Right, because that would be an appropriate affect. You would look sad. You would say, oh, my goodness. So when I ask you about who did this and whether you were ever arrested for domestic violence and you smile, it's inappropriate.
Sorry, Judge.
You did it again. What stuff do you claim she took? Let's just get to it.
Tools.
Tools. You have his tools?
I have pictures of what tools I have. There's no way anything in the house was close.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Stop shaking.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You have his tools?
No, not the tools that he claims.
I don't care tools he claims. The tools that you have. You have tools.
One toolbox and one tote of tools.
Good. Very, very good. You're going to return those to him?
I absolutely will.
Absolutely. Within 5 days. You get your tools back, sir, within 5 days. What else do you claim she has of yours?
Leather jacket.
A leather jacket. Do you have it?
I could have it. I wore it when I was pregnant.
Listen to me very carefully. I want you to give him back his leather jacket. Okay. Perfect. What else?
A pool stick. There's,
a pool stick?
Yeah.
You never hit her with it,
list.
Look at me. I'm talking. You never hit her with the pool stick, did you?
No.
Do you have his pool stick, madam?
I don't believe so.
She has no pool stick. What else?
Half a utility bill.
Forget it.
And my Mark Martin perb.
You what?
My NASCAR stuff.
Your NASCAR stuff. What kind of NASCAR stuff?
Mark Martin paraphernalia, you know, like cars.
I have no idea. You're mumbling, you're garbling your words.
Mark Martin cars. There's like number 6, the race car NASCAR.
A race car number 6. Do you have his race car
We
NASCAR?
redid my son's room in NASCAR, and he gave this Mark Martin stuff. My son's a junior fan.
That's
he gave it to my
true,
son
Your
in
Honor.
his room.
Just 1 second. I want you to consider it a gift to the 10-year-old. What's next?
That's
it.
That's it.
Listen, within 5 days, you're going to return to him in a nice box his tools that you have and his leather jacket.
Okay.
You're going to look around and see if you can find his pool cue.
Okay.
If you can find his pool cue, you're going to send it to him. Who are you?
Sorry, I'm his mother.
I wouldn't acknowledge that fact before all these people. Madam, do you hear what I just said? He sued for his property. He just told me what his property was. Don't help him. That's what he says his property was.
Excuse me, Judge.
He didn't understand, I'm sure.
He didn't understand? That's not my problem. I didn't raise him. That's your problem. You raised an abuser. That's your problem. I would take care of that before I took care of anything else.
I went through my class on that. Excuse me, Judge.
Let me explain something. Did you go through the class the last time you beat up a woman?
I didn't have to because we were a mutual agreement.
Mutual combatants.
He graduated BEP and did it
Listen.
again. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I got it. I'm not excusing you. You picked him.
I got a restraining order and left.
Very
for
good.
my
You're going to
kids.
get your stuff all ready.
I got that restraining order right here saying that why did she stay in my house before then? She still came in.
Mr. Munson, you came to court asking for the court's help in getting you your property back. She says she has some tools that belong to you, and she's more than willing to give you those tools back. She also believes she has your leather jacket, which she is going to give you back. You also want a little toy car.
There's a bunch of them.
And she was honest with me the first 2 things. She said, I think I have his tools, and I have his leather jacket. About the cars, you redecorated, while you were together, the 10-year-old's room, and you put those cars in his room. That makes it a gift. You don't get those back.
That's because it's a 2-bedroom apartment. Where else are we going to put it in our 2-bedroom apartment?
You don't want me to answer that question, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is he your only child?
No.
Are the other ones normal?
Yes.
The other one is normal.
Both of them.
He's not normal.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Justin Munson claims the mother of his daughter, Tasha Schnipkowite, won't return his tools or his NASCAR collectibles. Tasha is countersuing, claiming Justin physically abused her and their infant daughter.
Now I want you to give me the date of this assault that you are complaining about.
It was Memorial Weekend, May of 2006.
That wasn't this assault, was it?
No, that was October when my daughter was removed, October of 05. All I have is my hospital records of the
Can I
Memorial.
see it, please?
Absolutely, Your Honor. In that incident, he had swelled my eyes shut.
Do you have any photographs?
I didn't get photographs.
Okay. I would like you to tell me what happened on Memorial Day.
Okay. I picked him up from work, and we had went out for a couple drinks, and he has a very, very jealous tendency.
Why were you drinking? You got a problem?
He states that I have a problem drinking, Your Honor. I don't drink any more than anybody else my age. Okay.
You may or may not, but I wouldn't drink at all.
That's true. That is true.
So you went out for a couple of drinks, and?
And prior to that, we'd separated, and I just moved back in with him. And when we were separated, I had started dating somebody else. And he always wanted me to tell him in detail everything about the man. Well, when he drank, that's when his anger really flares. And so we had gotten home, and he started asking me questions about the other gentleman. And I wasn't willing to talk about it, so he held me down on the couch. And he just over and over in my head and in my face. And I had to wait till he passed out, and I ran down the street to my mother's house. And my mother then called the DHS because we had a visit with our daughter that weekend. And they didn't think that our daughter should come the next day with me looking the way I did. And
okay. Okay. You want to tell me your version, Mr. Munson, of what happened on Memorial Day?
She got hit by a softball, Judge. I got it written right here, statement from her saying she did.
You mean from the emergency room?
Nope, from the emergency room said that, and from what she told the DHS.
I had to be
I'm
said I
telling
would
you,
never
that's
get my
no
daughter
question
back.
that's what she told them, that she got hit with a softball
Yeah.
or maybe a bus. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you what happened on Memorial Day, sir. I expect an answer. Look, don't look there.
I will.
And don't look there. Listen to me. There is no question you assaulted her on Memorial Day. There is no question in my mind that you assaulted her on Memorial Day. Maybe you have an excuse. Maybe there was a reason. Maybe you were drinking. Maybe she was drinking. But don't tell me she got hit with a baseball. Do you understand? That's what she told them so that they weren't going to remove the little girl again or keep you both from her because of the domestic violence. So let's hear it.
I was out with my friend in Illinois that day
Why didn't you bring your witness?
because I was told that I didn't need him.
Well, you do. There you go with that stupid affect again, Mr. Munson. You want to tell me what happened on Memorial Day?
I came home at 11, and she came home next day. I don't remember what day it was, but it was the next day at 5 in the morning, and her eye was swollen shut, and we took her to the hospital about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Your Honor, we went to his mother's that weekend, and she's the only one that knew the truth.
Just a sec. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to get the truth out of his mother. She's going to continue to cover for him like she's been covering for him his whole life.
Yes.
But I know that he assaulted you. No question. And it would be outrageous for you to say a word. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Can I please have the medical report, please? One of these days, he's going to really hurt somebody, madam. He's going to really hurt somebody because he's a nasty drunk. He's a nasty, vicious drunk. Tasha stated that she received the bruising on her face, arms, because they're concerned about returning this child to a household where there is domestic violence. She received the bruising on her face, arms, and inner thigh at the end of May from a baseball. You got... Is he your only child?
No.
Are the other ones normal?
Yes. He's married and has a child.
The other one is normal.
All of them. Both of them.
He's not normal. He's not normal.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you bring a child up in an abusive household, like you did, that's what they become. They become an abuser.
And later today,
The defendant says that you did finance some reconstructive cosmetic surgery.
She wanted to start a new life, and no cosmetic surgeon is going to take payment, so I paid for it up front.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Justin Munson claims the mother of his daughter, Tasha Schnipkowite, won't return his tools or his NASCAR collectibles. Tasha is countersuing, claiming Justin physically abused her and their infant daughter.
Okay. Were you married to their father?
Yes.
Did he beat you?
Yes.
Did he beat you?
Yes.
That's what happens. Abusers see their mothers abused. That's what they think happens. That's the way they think people live. You're allowed to do it. It's accepted. Don't you read things? Don't you watch television? Don't you see documentaries? Don't you read newspapers? When you bring a child up in an abusive household, like you did, that's what they become. They become an abuser, like your son. And don't make excuses for him. You may have made excuses for your husband, but don't make excuses for your son. Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim in the amount of $5,000. Thank you very much. That's it.
Excuse, so stay here. Stay here for a minute.
It took a lot for me to move on, and now I'm doing, I don't want to stay with an abusive man.
Hitting over head with a pan. I got hit with anything she could grab.
I don't want to raise my kids to grow up to be what he is.
I was wrong in what I've done, yes, but I mean, I took my part in doing my classes to make myself better.
He promised he'd change, and again, it just kept happening over and over and over.
I got a good woman now that she has no problem with me.
When you start seeing those red flags, get out.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith versus Strive. Step forward, please.
Belinda Smith is suing her cousin, Laura Strive, for a loan to have cosmetic surgery. Laura claims she never agreed to pay back the entire amount.
Miss Smith, this is your cousin, and your complaint alleges a loan to her for some reconstructive cosmetic surgery. The defendant says that you did, in fact, finance this surgery for her. You did so as a gift because you cared about her. At this point, you're angry that she decided to go back to her husband.
That is not.
That's your defense.
Yes.
Were you good friends as well as relatives?
Years ago we were, but I hadn't seen her for 17 years prior
to
the
what?
surgery.
Prior to the surgery. Well, then tell me how it came about if you hadn't seen her.
She had left her husband and came to stay with me, and then when my house became available, she moved into my house and rented out my house. Once she did that, I ended up leaving.
Did she rent out your house alone?
Initially, yes, she was living there alone, and I moved back in my house with her, and we shared the house together as roommates.
The two of you?
Yes.
For how long?
I want to say April to when she left in January.
Okay. Tell me how it came about.
When she came to live with me, she was always down and out. She was without a sternum bone, without a breastbone, and very insecure with herself. She was going through a divorce. She signed divorce papers. She left her husband. She wanted to start a new life.
Tell me how it came about. Don't tell me why you did it. I didn't ask you why. Tell me how it came about.
I really couldn't. It was just a conversation we had, and we went on a couple of consultations. You know, I'm even paying the finance charges. She knew.
Just tell me how it came about, Miss Smith.
I don't know if it was just something that I offered to do for her, but she also knew right away that she had to pay me back.
Don't tell me what she knew. What you have to tell me is how this loan came about, and if you don't remember, you don't remember.
It was just a conversation we had. I told her that I would pay it up front because no cosmetic surgeon is going to take payments, so I paid for it up front. Then starting in January, she was supposed to pay me $100 a month until it was paid.
And how much did you pay the doctor?
$5,100.
You have proof of that?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see proof of that and proof where it came from your bank account.
I have my bank statements and proof of that.
Okay. I have $49.50.
I believe I paid $100 in cash on the day of the surgery as well.
Well,
but I don't
$49.50 is what you can prove. Okay, then what happens? She had the surgery.
She had the surgery done. Everything went well. I took care of her as well after the surgery. She went back to her husband, and the day that she left, she gave me $100 in cash. And about 3 to 4 weeks afterwards, she paid me a $300 check out of her and her husband's checking account, and I haven't received anything since. And then I hired a lawyer. And
what was the money for that you sent her?
I was going to pay her back some of the money. It was never...
But that's what the money was for, that you sent to her?
Yes, yes.
How much of the $5,000 were you going to pay her back?
I had offered to pay her half. It was a gift. It was intended...
Don't tell me what it was.
Yes,
that's
okay.
for me to determine.
Okay, okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why didn't you put the check in the mail?
Because at the time we were on good terms. All I wanted to do was
Why didn't you just put it in the mail slot in her house? Are
you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Okay. When did you tell her you were going to pay her half?
It was after the surgery was already done. We were at Busch Gardens talking, and I said, well, you know, it was a lot of money. I said, I'd like to be able to go ahead and pay you half of it. And I decided afterwards that I was going back to my husband. She didn't want to hear of it. She says, well, I just want all my money.
Well, why didn't you pay her back half?
Your Honor, I did try to. I went to her house 3 times to pay her some money. She was not there 2 times. The 3rd time I went there, I offered her a $1,000 check. She refused to take the check.
You mean a $1,000 check in total satisfaction?
No. As in payment for the rest of the year, and then in January, I would continue payments at $100 a month until half of it was paid. Because I did offer to pay her half.
Well, I don't understand why you didn't just send her a check for half. Why you went to our house? Why didn't you just send it?
I went 3 times just so that I can give it to her personally.
So why didn't you put the check in the mail?
Because at the time we were on good terms. All I wanted to do was
Why didn't you just put it in the mail slot in her house? You were there already.
I was there, but I didn't want to leave money
you take it, you put it in the mail slot. Finished. I don't believe a word you say. You're full of baloney. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $45.50. Thank you very much. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She was doing this because she said that she was doing this out of the kindness of her heart, and that she wanted to do something nice for everybody, for myself.
Patino is suing her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, 21-year-old DeAsia Martin, for keying her Chevy Metro. Carla says DeAsia is jealous and angry.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 314 on the calendar in the matter of Patino versus Martin. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks have a seat.
Ms. Patino, the defendant is your boyfriend's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
And each of you, in the exercise of what I'm sure is excellent judgment, each had a child with him.
Yes.
Right? Stand up next to her. It is your claim that Miss Martin, who's jealous and annoyed because you were fooling around with the boyfriend while he was with her, vandalized your car. Miss Martin says she's not jealous, she's very happy to be rid of him, and she never vandalized your car.
That's right.
So let's find out. What's your name?
Daniel Ayala,
How old are you, Mr. Ayala?
23.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an assistant manager at a grocery store.
For how long?
Been with the company, it's going to be 6 years in November.
And how much money do you earn a year?
Between 30 and 35.
And how many children do you have?
2.
With Miss Martin, you have one child. How old is that child?
He's 2.
Pay child support for him?
Not through the course, just I just give her money every week when I get paid.
How much do you give her every week?
She asked me for $40 a week, so I give her $40 a week.
So you give her $40 every week, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Who do you live with now?
I live at home and I also stay with her.
What do you mean you live at home and stay with her? What does that mean?
I stay at my mother's house and
How often do you stay at your mother's house?
probably like 2 nights a week.
And you stay with her?
Yes.
Where do you pay rent?
We give her mother money for rent.
Who's we?
Me and Carla.
Give who money for rent?
Her mother.
Oh, so you live with her mother?
Yes.
How much do you pay rent?
She gives her $200 a week. I mean, what, a month? $200 a month.
And you?
Well, I give her $60 a week.
You give her $60 a week?
Yes.
For what?
Just so I could give her money.
You understand that if you give Miss Martin $40 a week, which she's going to tell me you don't give her all the time, is that right?
No, I don't give it to her anymore.
Right?
Right.
Right. But if you did, that would be $5.74 a day. You look like you are a pretty good eater, Mr. Ayala. Can you eat on $5.74 a day?
Sometimes.
Really? Tell me where. Tell me where you
Fair
eat.
Play Foods Deli.
What?
My grocery store is deli.
Oh, because you get the food for nothing.
Pretty much.
Now, Miss Martin, did you vandalize Miss Patino's car?
No, I did not.
Miss Patino, how was your car vandalized and when?
Okay, it happened on Tuesday, October the 3rd this year. When I got out from work at 9 o'clock, I went to my car and I saw scratches around the car and 4 flat tires. But what happened was that she went to my job the same day around the time 6 and 6:30.
Where do you work?
At a grocery store.
Same grocery store he does?
No, I work at Markham.
So she came to your grocery store. Don't move back and forth. You know what you just did? Show me attitude.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry. That was just
Don't show me
moving.
attitude. Only one attitude here.
I know. That's right.
Go ahead. So she came to your grocery store.
Yes, she went to my register and she was talking to her friend and then she received a call and it was from my boyfriend and she...
What did you call her for?
Because she called me. I was at work and she called me. I couldn't get to the phone, so I just called her back whenever I could, like 5 minutes later.
What was the purpose of the call?
Because right now my son is in Mexico with his parents for 2 months, and the only way I can get through with him is by him calling and translating for me, which he stopped all of that, so I haven't talked to my son at all because he won't call for me.
What is your son doing in Mexico?
He went to go visit his grandparents with his grandmother.
And when do they do back?
Next week.
It was very nice of you to let him go.
I know, and this is the things I get.
It was very nice of her to let him go.
Yeah, I didn't think she was going to do it.
But she did.
I'm very thankful.
Very nice, because she had to sign a paper
Okay.
allowing him to go, because in Mexico they have those laws that don't permit you to take a baby or a child unless
Right.
both parents go. So she had to sign to let him go. Did you sign with the date that they had to return? What was the date they had to return?
November 10th.
And it says so in the paper that you signed. Is that right?
Yes, either 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after.
November 10th.
Right.
Good. When are your parents due home?
November 10th.
They are coming home, aren't they?
Yeah.
What? Yes would be the answer.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so she came to your register. There was a phone call. Go ahead.
Yeah, and she was talking on the phone, and I heard when she asked him, "What are you doing after work?" And she said, "Oh, you're picking up your little girl." So when she hung up the phone, her friend asked her what he's doing, so I thought, she's talking to him. And then her friend asked her, "Oh, I can't wait for you to have that baby."
What baby?
I think she's pregnant. I don't know.
You pregnant?
No.
Go ahead, let's go.
Okay, she said, I'm going to abort it. And when she was leaving my register, she told me, "Don't tell Danny my business." And I turned around and told her, I don't care about your business. And then when she was leaving, she started cursing at me, threatening me that she was going to come back at 10 to find me. So,
okay, and then you went outside and found your car damaged.
Yes, and when I got out from work at 9 o'clock, I went to my car and I saw all scratches around the car and 4 flat tires. I called the police, they came, and then my boyfriend received a call from her admitting it that she did damage my car.
Did you receive a call from her?
I actually called her. She didn't answer, and then she called back.
And what was the conversation? Shh, don't speak. What was the conversation?
The conversation was...
Look at me.
The conversation was just like...
Look at me.
Like, whoa, like, did you do anything to Carla's car? And then she's like, no, I didn't do anything to her car.